Imagine waking up every morning with a mind that feels like a storm swirling with thoughts, doubts, and endless worries about the past and future. Have you ever found yourself trapped in overthinking, replaying old mistakes, or fearing what tomorrow may bring? You're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, the mind rarely finds a moment of stillness, and the chaos within often feels louder than the world outside. But what if I told you that there is a way out? A path that has been walked for centuries, a path of wisdom, mindfulness, and deep inner peace. Welcome to Path of Enlightenment, where we explore the timeless teachings of Buddhism and philosophy to help you cultivate clarity, purpose, and a profound sense of calm in your daily life. Overthinking is a silent thief. It robs you of your joy, your focus, and even your health. It creates an illusion of control, yet leaves you feeling exhausted and disconnected. But here's the truth: you have the power to break free from this mental storm. Buddhism teaches us that peace isn't something to be found outside, it's already within us, waiting to be uncovered. In this video, we'll embark on a journey together, one that will take us through ancient wisdom, practical techniques, and transformative stories that have stood the test of time. We'll learn how to quiet the noise, find clarity amidst chaos, and embrace the beauty of the present moment. Whether you're struggling with decision-making, feeling stuck in life, or simply seeking a sense of serenity in your everyday routine, this video will guide you step by step toward inner freedom. With each insight, you'll gain practical tools to manage your thoughts, let go of unnecessary worries, and reconnect with what truly matters. So, take a deep breath, set aside your distractions, and allow yourself to fully immerse in this journey. Because on the path of enlightenment, every step forward is a step toward self-discovery, wisdom, and lasting peace. Stay with us until the end, and you may just find the clarity you've been searching for all along. 1. Be here now, escaping the past and future. Overthinking often traps us in a cycle of regret and worry. Regret about the past and worry about the future. We replay past mistakes, dwell on missed opportunities, or anxiously anticipate the future, wondering what might go wrong. The more we overthink, the further we drift from the only thing we truly have, the present moment. Buddhism teaches us that peace can only be found in the now, and mastering this understanding is key to freeing ourselves from overthinking. Our modern lifestyle encourages distraction. With social media, constant notifications, and the pressure to achieve more, our minds are conditioned to multitask. We eat while scrolling through our phones, watch TV while working, and even during moments of rest. Our thoughts race between unfinished tasks and future responsibilities. The human brain is wired for survival, and part of that involves planning for the future and learning from the past. However, when we overindulge in these tendencies, they become sources of stress rather than tools for growth. Instead of focusing on what we can control, we get lost in what-ifs and should-haves. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, was known for his relentless focus on the present moment. Despite numerous failures early in his career, including being ousted from the company he founded. He didn't dwell on the past. Instead, he channeled his energy into creating something new. When reflecting on his journey, Jobs often spoke about the importance of focusing on what could be done now rather than ruminating on the past or fearing the future. His ability to stay present allowed him to innovate and build one of the most valuable companies in the world. A few years ago, I found myself constantly reliving past mistakes, missed career opportunities, friendships that fell apart, and financial decisions I wished I had made differently. I spent countless nights replaying scenarios in my mind, wishing I could go back and change things. The result? Anxiety, sleepless nights, and a constant feeling of dissatisfaction. It wasn't until I discovered mindfulness meditation that I learned the power of living in the present. I started practicing a simple technique whenever I caught myself drifting into the past. I would take 3 deep breaths and bring my focus to my surroundings. Whether it was feeling the warmth of my coffee cup or listening to the sounds of nature outside. These small moments of awareness helped me regain control over my mind. Slowly, I realized that the past was just a story I kept telling myself. And by focusing on the present, I could create a new narrative. Practical tips to stay present. Breath awareness, whenever you feel overwhelmed by thoughts of the past or future. Focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. This simple act anchors you to the present. Engage your senses, pay attention to what you see, hear, smell, and touch in the moment. This sensory awareness pulls you out of your head and into reality. Daily grounding practice. Set aside 5 minutes each morning to practice mindfulness. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts without judgment. And gently bring your focus back to the now. Limit digital distractions. Social media and technology often pull us into unnecessary thoughts. Try setting specific times to check your phone and create no-phone zones in your daily routine. The Buddha taught that, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. This teaching reminds us that clinging to past regrets or future anxieties only fuels suffering. Instead, focusing on the present moment brings clarity and inner peace. A Buddhist parable tells of a man walking across a field when he is chased by a tiger. As he runs, he falls off a cliff but manages to grab onto a vine. Hanging there, he notices a strawberry growing nearby. Instead of worrying about the tiger above or the fall below, he plucks the strawberry and savors it. The lesson? Enjoy the beauty of the present moment, no matter how uncertain the future may seem. Learning to be present is a powerful antidote to overthinking. It helps us break free from the chains of regret and worry and fully engage with the beauty of life as it unfolds. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But the present is where life truly happens. 2. Thoughts are like clouds, letting go without clinging. Overthinking often feels like being trapped in a storm of thoughts. These thoughts swirl and build upon each other, creating anxiety, confusion, and mental exhaustion. However, Buddhism teaches us that thoughts are like clouds in the sky, impermanent and ever-changing. They come and go, but they do not define us. Our attachment to thoughts is often rooted in fear and a desire for control. We believe that if we analyze a situation long enough, we can prevent negative outcomes. However, this constant analysis creates a cycle of worry rather than clarity. Consider the example of a student preparing for an important exam. They study hard, but instead of feeling confident, they obsess over potential failure, imagining worst-case scenarios and replaying mistakes from the past. This mental clutter diminishes their ability to focus on what truly matters, doing their best in the present moment. For years, I struggled with intrusive thoughts about what others thought of me. I would replay conversations, analyzing every word I said, fearing I had embarrassed myself. This constant cycle of self-criticism drained my energy and robbed me of enjoying social interactions. One day, I stumbled upon a mindfulness technique called noting. Each time a thought arose, instead of engaging with it, I labeled it judgment, fear, or planning. This simple act of acknowledging thoughts without getting caught up in them helped me create distance. Over time, I realized that thoughts are just passing events, not truths. Basketball legend Michael Jordan once shared that his ability to stay focused on the game came from not dwelling on missed shots or mistakes. Instead of ruminating, he would acknowledge a mistake, learn from it, and move on. This mindset allowed him to perform under pressure without being held back by self-doubt. How to let thoughts pass without clinging. Observe without judgment. When a thought arises, treat it like a passing cloud. Observe it, acknowledge it, and let it drift away without attaching emotions to it. Use the 3-breath rule when you catch yourself overthinking. Take 3 deep breaths and consciously choose to shift your focus back to the present. Practice the let it be mantra whenever anxious thoughts arise. Gently remind yourself, let it be. This too shall pass. This simple affirmation can bring a sense of ease. Engage in creative activities. Overthinking often thrives in idle minds. Engaging in activities like painting, music, or writing can provide a healthy outlet for mental energy. A Zen master once demonstrated the importance of letting go by holding up a full cup of tea and saying, "You cannot pour more into a cup that is already full." Our minds, much like the cup, must be emptied of unnecessary thoughts to make space for wisdom and clarity. 3. The illusion of control, releasing the need to manage everything. One of the most significant sources of overthinking is our deep-rooted desire to control everything: our future, other people's opinions, and even life's unpredictable circumstances. The more we try to control, the more we create stress, anxiety, and mental fatigue. Buddhism teaches us that attachment to control is one of the main causes of suffering, and learning to let go is the path to peace. At its core, the need for control stems from fear, the fear of uncertainty, failure, or loss. We believe that if we can anticipate and prepare for every possible outcome, we can avoid discomfort or disappointment. However, life is inherently uncertain, and attempting to micromanage every aspect only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Modern life encourages control in many ways. From meticulously planning our careers to curating a perfect social media presence, we are conditioned to believe that we can shape every aspect of our lives. But in reality, no matter how much we plan, life often unfolds in unexpected ways. I used to believe that the key to success was having complete control over every detail of my life. Whether it was planning my career, my daily schedule, or even my relationships, I constantly tried to predict and control outcomes. This approach, however, left me feeling drained and dissatisfied. I would obsess over small details, replaying conversations in my head, and trying to fix things that were beyond my influence. It wasn't until I discovered the Buddhist principle of impermanence that I realized control is an illusion. Life is fluid, and trying to control every aspect is like trying to hold water in your hands. It will always slip through your fingers. I started practicing surrender by focusing only on what I could influence: my actions, my mindset, and my responses to situations. Over time, I found a newfound sense of freedom and relief. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, once shared how she used to be obsessed with controlling every aspect of her career and personal life. She would push for certain opportunities and try to force outcomes. However, as she matured, she learned to let go and trust that life would unfold as it should. She embraced the mantra, "Do what you have to do, and let the universe handle the rest." This shift in mindset allowed her to find greater peace and success. Practical steps to release the need for control. Identify what you can control. Recognize the difference between what you can influence, your actions, mindset, and responses, and what you cannot, others' actions, external events, or the future. Practice surrender through breathwork. Whenever you feel the urge to control, take a deep breath and mentally repeat, "I release what I cannot control." This simple practice helps create a sense of release. Let go of perfectionism. Accept that perfection is an illusion. Mistakes and uncertainties are a natural part of life. Embrace the mindset of progress over perfection. Trust the flow of life. Remind yourself that everything happens in its own time. When we surrender to life's natural flow, we create space for unexpected opportunities and growth. A well-known Buddhist parable tells the story of a man who spent years trying to push a large boulder uphill. He poured all his energy into moving it, convinced that his happiness depended on reaching the top. One day, exhausted and frustrated, he realized that he could simply walk around the boulder and continue his journey. The lesson? Sometimes, the best way to move forward is not by forcing change but by accepting the present and finding an alternative path. By embracing the reality that not everything is within our control, we can free ourselves from the mental burden of overthinking and enjoy the present moment. 4. Simplicity is freedom, decluttering the mind and life. In today's fast-paced world, simplicity is often overlooked. We tend to equate a busy life with success, filling our schedules with endless commitments and our minds with unnecessary worries. However, Buddhism teaches us that simplicity is the key to freedom. When we remove the clutter, we create space for clarity and peace. Society encourages us to chase more possessions, more achievements, more responsibilities. But the pursuit of more often leads to a feeling of being overwhelmed. Constantly overthinking about things that don't truly matter. Our physical and mental spaces become cluttered, leaving little room for genuine peace and happiness. Several years ago, I found myself juggling too many responsibilities: work, social commitments, and personal goals. My mind was constantly racing, trying to balance everything. I felt exhausted but was afraid to slow down, fearing that simplifying my life meant giving up on ambition. After reading about the Buddhist concept of letting go, I decided to make small changes. I decluttered my living space, letting go of items that no longer served a purpose. I simplified my daily routine, focusing only on what brought value. Over time, I realized that simplicity didn't mean sacrificing success, it meant focusing on what truly mattered. The Dalai Lama lives a simple life despite being one of the most influential spiritual leaders in the world. He owns very few possessions and follows a straightforward daily routine. His simplicity allows him to focus on what truly matters: his teachings, meditation, and helping others. This minimalistic lifestyle reflects the Buddhist belief that true happiness is not found in external possessions but in inner peace. Practical steps to simplify your life. Declutter your environment. Start by removing physical clutter in your home. A clean space leads to a clear mind. Simplify your daily routine. Identify tasks that add unnecessary stress and eliminate or delegate them. Focus on what aligns with your values. Practice digital minimalism. Limit your time on social media and unnecessary notifications to create mental space. Say no to non-essential commitments. Learn to set boundaries and prioritize activities that align with your well-being. A Zen master once invited a student for tea. As he poured, the cup overflowed, and the student exclaimed, "Master, the cup is full." The master replied, "Exactly. You cannot fill a cup that is already full. Empty your mind of clutter so you can make room for wisdom." This story reminds us that by simplifying our lives and minds, we create space for growth, clarity, and true fulfillment. Simplicity is not just about decluttering our physical environment, it's also about simplifying our thoughts. We often complicate situations by overthinking every detail. Instead, adopting a simple, mindful approach to life helps us focus on the present and make decisions with ease. By choosing simplicity, we can reduce stress, find joy in everyday moments, and achieve greater inner peace. 5. Trust in impermanence, finding freedom in change. Life is in a constant state of flux. Everything from the seasons to our emotions, relationships, and even our own bodies undergoes continuous change. Yet, one of the biggest sources of overthinking comes from our resistance to this natural ebb and flow. We fear losing what we have, resist change, and cling tightly to things that are ultimately beyond our control. Buddhism teaches us the concept of impermanence, anicca, the idea that nothing lasts forever. And that true peace comes from embracing this truth rather than fighting it. Change often triggers uncertainty. And as humans, we crave stability and predictability. Whether it's the end of a relationship, career shifts, or aging. We tend to hold on to the familiar out of fear of the unknown. This fear leads to overthinking, trying to anticipate every possible outcome, preparing for the worst, or replaying past scenarios in an effort to hold on to what was. However, impermanence isn't just about loss, it's also about renewal. Just as flowers bloom and wither, only to bloom again, life's changes bring both endings and new beginnings. I once found myself in a long-term relationship that I thought would last forever. When it ended, I struggled with constant overthinking. What went wrong? Could I have done something differently? The uncertainty of facing the future alone felt overwhelming. It wasn't until I began studying Buddhist teachings that I understood that all things, no matter how significant, are temporary. Through meditation and reflection, I came to realize that the relationship served its purpose in my life, and clinging to it only prolonged my suffering. By accepting impermanence, I found the strength to move forward, welcoming new experiences with an open heart. Before achieving success, J.K. Rowling faced numerous rejections and hardships. Her life was filled with uncertainty, single parenthood, financial struggles, and failed relationships. Instead of clinging to her past circumstances, she embraced the impermanence of her situation and used it as fuel to create something new. The Harry Potter series. Rowling often speaks about how accepting change allowed her to move forward with resilience. Practical steps to embrace impermanence. Practice non-attachment. Recognize that clinging to people, possessions, or ideas creates suffering. Appreciate them while they last, but be willing to let go when the time comes. Mindfulness of change. Observe the changes happening around you, whether it's the shift from day to night or the changing seasons. Noticing these small changes helps us internalize the reality of impermanence. Gratitude in the present. Knowing that nothing lasts forever allows us to savor what we have right now. Practicing daily gratitude for the present moment makes it easier to let go when things change. Letting go of the illusion of permanence. Accept that both joy and pain are fleeting. When facing a tough situation, remind yourself that it won't last forever. And when enjoying happy moments, cherish them without fear of losing them. The Buddha once shared a story of a man who tried to step into the same river twice. But when he stepped in again, the river had already changed. It was not the same water, and he was not the same man. This parable beautifully illustrates that life is always flowing, and trying to hold on to a fixed state is futile. Instead, we should learn to move with the current rather than against it. When we embrace impermanence, we free ourselves from the burden of attachment. We stop resisting change and start seeing life as an adventure full of new possibilities and unexpected opportunities. Overthinking becomes less of a habit, and instead, we learn to trust the natural flow of life. By accepting that everything is temporary, we become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately, more at peace with ourselves and the world around us. 6. Practicing gratitude, shifting focus from worry to appreciation. Overthinking often arises from a place of lack. We focus on what's missing, what could go wrong, or what we haven't achieved yet. Gratitude, a key teaching in Buddhism, offers an antidote to this mindset. By shifting our focus to what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a sense of abundance and inner peace. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can rewire the brain to focus more on positive experiences. When we intentionally recognize the good in our lives, our minds become less prone to overthinking and worry. Gratitude fosters contentment, reducing the need to constantly seek external validation or compare ourselves to others. There was a time when I constantly compared myself to others, seeing their achievements, their lifestyles, and feeling as though I was falling behind. This habit led to excessive overthinking and self-doubt. However, when I began a daily gratitude practice, I started noticing small joys I had overlooked, like having supportive friends, good health, and the opportunity to pursue my passions. This shift in perspective helped me break free from the cycle of negative thoughts and find happiness in the present. Famous actor Jim Carrey has spoken openly about how practicing gratitude helped him overcome depression and self-doubt. Despite his success, he struggled with feelings of emptiness. By adopting a gratitude-focused mindset, taking time to appreciate even the smallest blessings, he was able to cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment beyond material wealth and fame. Practical steps to cultivate gratitude. Start a gratitude journal each day. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big, simple joys like a good meal, a kind conversation, or a beautiful sunset can shift your perspective. Express gratitude to others. Tell people in your life that you appreciate them. Expressing gratitude not only strengthens relationships but also reinforces positive thinking. Practice gratitude in challenging situations, even in difficult moments. Look for lessons or silver linings. This helps reframe negative experiences and reduces overthinking. Mindful gratitude meditation. Take a few minutes each day to focus on things you're grateful for while practicing deep breathing. This helps bring a sense of calm and perspective. There's a Buddhist story about a monk who was given a cup of water. Instead of simply drinking it, he took a moment to appreciate the effort that went into bringing the water to him, the rain that filled the rivers, the person who carried it, and the cup that held it. This practice of mindful gratitude allowed him to experience deep appreciation for even the simplest of things. The habit of overthinking often magnifies what's lacking in our lives. Gratitude helps counterbalance this by redirecting our attention to the abundance that already exists. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, gratitude teaches us to focus on what is going right. By incorporating gratitude into daily life, we not only reduce overthinking but also cultivate a deep sense of contentment and inner peace. By applying these Buddhist teachings, embracing impermanence, simplifying life, and cultivating gratitude, we can break free from the cycle of overthinking and create a life of greater clarity and peace. Letting go of control, staying present, and appreciating the present moment are the stepping stones to true inner freedom. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect. What have you discovered? Perhaps you've realized that the thoughts that once seemed overwhelming no longer have the same power over you. Maybe you found comfort in the understanding that life is constantly changing, and with each breath, you have the opportunity to start anew. Buddhism teaches us that true peace doesn't come from controlling every detail of our lives, but from learning to flow with the ever-changing nature of existence. The worries that weigh you down today will not last forever. And the fears that cloud your mind are just passing clouds in the vast sky of your awareness. The path of enlightenment isn't about achieving perfection, it's about embracing progress step by step, breath by breath. It's about learning to let go of what no longer serves you and welcoming the present moment with an open heart. The simple act of being here, right now, is the greatest gift you can give yourself. If today's video resonated with you, take these teachings and apply them in your daily life. Start small, practice mindfulness in your morning routine. Embrace gratitude in moments of doubt. And remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. And remember, this journey doesn't end here. The path to wisdom and peace is ongoing. And with each new video, we'll explore deeper insights, ancient teachings, and modern applications to help you cultivate a life of clarity and purpose. If you found value in today's content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a moment of peace in their life. Your support helps us continue spreading these timeless teachings to those who seek them. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay mindful. Stay present. And remember, inner peace is not a destination, but a way of being. Until next time, continue walking your path of enlightenment.